Hi guys, I'm so beyond thrilled to be going over new releases with you guys today. This week, in lieu of the typical foil collection, I am releasing two very big projects I'm so excited to finally share. They are both kind of mysteries that I have not revealed many details about on my channel or on my Instagram at all, so they should be a complete surprise to most of you, unless one of them is a collab, so unless you've seen her video revealing everything. But I am going to start with that. So I did do my second ever collab, her very first one, so I was very excited to be her first collab with Randy from PlannerPixieCo. And this is the kit that she gave me to work with. She did the kit, I did the foil. This is custom art from her shop with her custom artist, and the theme is Plan-O-Ween, so it's like a planner themed Halloween party, which is really fun. It's like a combination of 3 different themes, so it is pretty niche and I haven't seen anything really like it before. I've had some suggestions that people could use it for like a Halloween birthday party, or just anybody who has their birthday around Halloween, and then of course the planner stuff could be just for us, but if there are any actual Halloween themed planner meetups that you may be going to, this would be perfect for that, or just an anytime kit, because honestly it is so gorgeous. The colors are just stunning, and there's so many of them, and I love the art, of course. Her artist is fantastic. Like, look at this disco ball. So basically we have our double box scene here of the party, lots of balloons. We have our skull spiderweb cake over here. We have our 2 fashion people. We have our little washi tower, some other planner stuff, mini disco balls. We have our food flat lay, which obviously is always my favorite part. We have our little ghost cupcakes, the aforementioned disco ball, and another cake, I believe, with, I think that's a key of some kind. Then we have our just a planner stuff flat lay. I love the stickers in there, very spooky themed. And just a disclaimer, this kit I was sent as a printable, and you know what I do with printables. I just completely tear them apart to make them better for my own personal usage. So what you see here in this bundle after this page is what I've done to it. So it's my version of the kit. I did leave out some pages and I did change up other pages. So if you want to see the full kit format, definitely check out her website for that. But this will just give you a general idea of it. So this page is glitter headers, and then I think whatever was there was functional stuff. I replaced that with more little things. So we have plenty of those, and they are this kind, the crest press kind of little things. So there's glitter on that page, and this one I left the left side normal and the right side I just did my thing with. So we have our deco weekend banner. She had a movie marquee. I just duplicated it because 2 is a better number for me. And then I have this one that I am going to use the dinner's header on, which I think I completely forgot to actually make one of the headers a dinner's header, so I'll have to reprint that separately. But and then we have the 2 flags, and then one of the tall boxes I put here. So I wasn't thinking, and when I chose what tall boxes to use, I didn't realize that the other 3 were versions of art that was already elsewhere in the kit. So this is a total copy of that. And I am going to be using the double box scene and I guess the tall box now, so it's going to be a repeat. So that was totally on me, but the other one is completely unique. So there's that. I just put that there. This page I left the same. That is the little things page. And then let's see, we have the patterned labels page. I think these fancy labels are a little bit shorter than average. There's typically 2 sizes that people have in their shops. One of them is larger, SBC. One of them is smaller. I think both PlannerPixieCo and Linear Designs, if I recall correctly, have smaller little or fancy labels. And then there's the solid page. I left that the same as well. And then we have the bottom washi. There's paper specks in there. Bottom washi, and then this full box with more planner stuff and a little cart, and then a skull pen holder, which I just love the detail on that. And then I printed off this extra page, which I put the other tall box on of the fashion person, and then I grabbed one of the patterned full boxes. You'll see why in a minute. One of these sidebar trackers, habit trackers. I kept all 6 half boxes, or square boxes rather, and then just duplicated some more of these, like washi strips kind of. Okay, and then I also printed out the 5th color extras, because honestly I think I'm going to use these first, at least for the little things, because some of these colors are going to be a little bit hard to write on. Like that purple is really dark. My printer also printed it super dark compared to how it looks on the website, so if you order it physical from her, it might look a little different. And then we have the big box, which is another fun little scene of the planner party situation. We have another spiderweb cake, some more treats there, and a skeleton who is serving everybody. Very fun. Okay, so now my part of the collab was the foil that goes over it, and I haven't actually shown the first collab that I did yet. I need to show that one of these days. It is listed as a mystery on my site, which is why I haven't shown it, but I think I will show it just so I can see if anybody wants the rest of the ones that I have on hand. But basically what I do is I draw over the full boxes, so I design the foil over each specific box that is in the kit. So I literally like pull this up in my Photoshop and then I do the foil over it, so it lines up perfectly. And that is how I do my collab foil bundles. So this is how it looks. It definitely looks different from my usual foil bundles, but it's for the reasons I just described. And I did foil mine in lavender. I do recommend lavender, I think, as like the #1 shade, because it matches that lavender of those balloons, and it's Randy has a lot more foil colors that are different from my selection of 46, so I had to recommend pretty much completely different ones than she did. But if you are a Printables customer and you have the foils that she has, I would recommend watching her video to get ideas on that. But from my shop, I would say lavender is #1. You can also do lavender hollow, because there's a lot of like pastel rainbow elements, so pretty much any hollow is going to work. Pink hollow would work. You can do a shade if you want, like light pink might be okay. It's probably going to match either one of those. And then you can do, if you want to do a blue, you can do blue glitter or ice blue, I would say. I would say blue glitter probably would be a better bet out of the 2 blues. This really is kind of like a very light indigo. And then, let's see, basically silver in any variation of the silver would work as well. I mean, if you really want to go on a stretch, you could do lime green, because there are some like lighter green aspects in here, but I keep forgetting it's not called lime green in my shop, it's light green, but it's not gonna be an exact match, but you can definitely do that. And yeah, like silver pixie dust or sparkly hollow, any of those could match as well, because like the disco ball action going on there. So there's really a lot you could do, but yeah, my vibe is lavender, so that is what I am sticking with. And also, like, there were some options that were like more matte foils that I could have chosen, but I chose not to, because for overlays, especially over really busy boxes, you're going to want them to be a shiny foil instead of a matte foil, because they're going to show up a lot better. And so yeah, I tried to keep these kind of subtle and more interwoven with the aspects of the art, as opposed to just covering up some stuff, because you know me, I hate to cover up clip art with foil, so I will typically give you guys plenty of options depending on how much you want to cover up. But in this one, I kind of basically made it so it's a perfect complement, which is why I love doing custom foil bundles for specific kits. So for the first page of the bundle, it is corresponding with the first page of her kit perfectly, so they're layered exactly like this. So this quote box here that says "my planner is my spooky place" and has all the like planner elements in it, that goes over obviously the planner box. So the quote kind of takes up that middle space where there isn't much going on. And then we have the little ghosty in the corner, and then I just kind of threw in the other planner items where they wouldn't be like covering up anything. And then there's sparkles just kind of throughout. And then we have the bat border, which is so fun. Like, I will frequently do like some type of items in this border here. If you saw from my farm bundle, I like branched out and did like farm animals in that spot instead of just like confetti, and I liked that idea so much that I kind of borrowed it for this collection. So instead of farm animals, it is bats for this one. So I need to do like a full sheet of that kind of Halloween border. But yeah, basically because of that singular bat, that's why this is the bat box. So that's that. And then we have our double box scene, which is mostly the confetti, but I did do like the two bigger ghosties with their ghost balloons in there. So that goes over the double box scene. And yeah, I did also kind of like edit it so that the stuff wasn't covering up important elements of the art. And then the spiderweb box has the spiderweb themed foil overlay. So we have spiderwebs in these corners where there isn't much going on. We have spiders hanging, and then one single spider who I think is hanging out on the disco ball, if I arranged that as I think I did. Yeah, he's kind of perched on there. And then there's some more twinkles there. So I really love that box. But my favorite one, and the first one I did, was this quote box, which was the Hey Boo quote, which is really, this is a funny story. So I like chose this quote out of like what I thought was out of nowhere, because I just like thought that the vibe these girls were giving off was the Hey Boo vibe. And then I like looked elsewhere in the kit and I realized that one of the other boxes actually has like the Hey Boo quote in it right there. And I had that on another Photoshop page, so like I didn't realize that that's where I had gotten the idea from. So it was just kind of a hilarious coincidence, but it actually wasn't a coincidence. Like I definitely had seen that and had the words Hey Boo stuck in my head when I did this quote. So yeah, if you use a foil overlays, you're gonna get that quote twice, but it's just really funny. So yeah, we have that quote, and then the little ghosties. That dot is not supposed to be there, by the way. That is an accident. So if I do this bundle for me, I'm probably going to reprint that. But yeah, and then it is also a border with a few sparkles in there as well. And then for these two, we just have versions of the confetti. So we have the full confetti, and then we have the medium four-corner confetti. So just what is in the confetti. I did design a like special set of icons for this bundle. So it's like art that's pretty much like foil art that's unique to this bundle. But both versions of the balloons I did myself. And then the spiderweb donut, obviously to match these, I also did. And then the spiderweb washi I did as well. And then the pen with the skull on the top of it, that is also one that I kind of put together myself. So I'm really pleased with those. And then we have like our spiderweb, bones, bats, skulls, spiders, all kinds of fun stuff. So that is the confetti options. Of course, you can just switch those up, and I mean, you can switch any of these up and use any of these over whatever, but there is kind of a plan in mind if you want to make it easy on yourself. So that is the first page, and then the next two are the underlays, of course. I did kind of want to keep it super simple because the kit's really busy. So it's just a basic spiderweb pattern, because I don't have any spiderweb underlays for some reason. So these I might borrow for like basics, or I might just borrow them for the Halloween collection, but they needed to be there. And then there are some spiders hanging from those webs. But I just love this simple pattern, and it's also still one that you will be able to see behind a very busy day with lots of labels. And then the next page has our headers, deco, some quotes. So here's the 3 header designs. We have the confetti. We have both versions of the spiderweb donut. And then we have the spiderweb washi and actual spiderwebs. And then we have our deco, which you can see the larger versions of the donuts right there. So that's kind of how they looked when I designed them, because it's kind of hard to see them when they're all shrunk. But that's just the usual deco page. And then these 2 boxes go over the other boxes in the kit. So this one is for this other spiderweb box, because there's like a spiderweb right there. So we get kind of a spiderweb border at the top with more spiders hanging out and then more twinkles. And then this full cover quote, you know, I like to do these for patterned full boxes. And guess what? Rainy includes patterned full boxes in all of her kits. So I grabbed the one that I wanted, which is obviously the spiderweb one. And then I did this quote for it. So it is like the full confetti quote with a pun on it, because that's just me. I just thought it was really funny. I washi you a stupendous Halloween. So there's the washi and the pen, because it's a pun. I think I'm hilarious personally. So that is for the patterned full box. And the next page is the washi. So we have our little ghosties with balloons, and then just the other elements of the kit interspersed between them. We have the confetti at the bottom, and then the flags, and then just everything else that's standard for that page. And then lastly, we have the add-on sheet, which you will want to pick up if you are using a tall box and or the big box. So the thought here was that there's two versions of the tall box for both versions that she includes. So she does have a few versions of the person, and for that you're going to want to use this one on the middle because it lines up perfectly with her. And then we have like our larger balloon ghosty kind of taking up space in that corner. And then for all of the other ones that are just like scenery, you're going to want to use the left tall box overlay with like the twinkles and the spider webs. So it's kind of like a variation on this overlay right here. But yeah, it's going to go over this one. I did design it to go over this box specifically because that's the one I'm using, but it's kind of generic enough to go over any of them. But yeah, I kind of arranged the twinkles over the balloons, like kind of on purpose. But yeah, so that's fun to go over that one. We have a couple swoops because that's just what fit in the space. Our full set of hole reinforcers, and then the big box overlay, which I did also keep kind of simple, but I'm just loving these borders. So we got another border design with the twinkles in the corners, giant spider web in that corner because there kind of ain't much going on there. And then I took the idea of the bats and I did some bats of my own, and they're kind of like meant to intersperse with the ones that are in the kit. So how I lined them up was that they're not really going to cover up any of the ones that are in the kit. They're kind of going to be between them. I'm curious to see how well I did with that, see how it looks laid down, but I'm usually pretty good with that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think that's going to be really fun. So that is the big box overlay. And that is the full Planoween bundle. I'm so happy with our collab. It was so fun. She gave me like excellent art to work with to draw foil over basically. So she truly made my job very easy in terms of that. And I cannot wait to work with her again because this is so fun. And also, I love getting this kit for free, basically, in exchange for my labor. So that is the Planoween bundle collab. And the next big project I have to go over is my very first kit and my very first custom art. And also my very first kit with art that I have drawn. It's a milestone here. So this theme, like, I don't even want to show it off because I have just been hinting at this for months and months and months now. And like, I don't even want to like reveal it because, man, I don't even know. I feel like it's just meant to stay a mystery now. But okay, so the hints that I've given about this are, it is a princess kit. I won't necessarily say like if it's a Disney princess kit or what. It just it's about a princess, and it is based on the theme that has already been kind of covered twice this year by other shops. It's kind of similar to that. So a few of you have figured it out. Actually, you guys guessed it a lot easier than I thought. I mean, technically there's not too much that fits under that category, especially with that second hint. But yeah, y'all really managed to figure it out. Y'all were not fooled by the whole Disney princess thing. It is not, in fact, I don't know, maybe this is a Disney property, but she's not an official Disney princess. So this is based on Princess Diaries 2, the royal engagement. So there have been a couple kits out on Princess Diaries 1, and I have eagerly purchased all of them. They are all fantastic. I'm obsessed with them. Those are other custom arts that have been done. But I personally love Princess Diaries 2. I am not a huge fan of the first one, but the second one is like the best movie ever. So I did mention like watching it and playing with me a while back, and I don't think too many of you would have guessed that that was actually for this purpose, but now you know. If you're still like getting caught up in my playing with me, is look out for that. But yeah, I just needed to see one based on the second movie because I just, for my personal fulfillment and the fact that it is my favorite of the movies, like Princess Diaries 1 does not need like, I have like 3 different kits I think in my collection, 3 or 4 now based on the first one, but the second one has gotten no love and it's my favorite. So here we go. I understand like if you already have those kits and like you don't need one on the second one, but if you love the second one as much as I do, this is the kit for you because I watched the movie and took very careful notes and screenshots so we would have everything we needed from this movie. So I collaborated with my artist, Ellie, who drew all of the clip art and the scenes and the backgrounds, and then I drew the people. So I will kind of point out what I did and didn't do. You'll easily be able to recognize my style, but I did kind of try to make it able to blend in with hers a little bit. So, and also you get to see my kit format. So this is kind of how it looks. I mean, I did get a lot of inspiration from SPC, so it is a very SPC styled format. But yeah, so here are the full boxes. On the first page, we have our gorgeous double box scene of the outside of the castle. I think it's funny because I believe the castle looked very different in the first movie, and that is what is featured in other like kits based on Princess Diaries, but this is how it looks in the second movie. So that is what is our first double box scene. And then we have the scene of Mia and Nicholas kissing in front of the fountain, which I think was their first kiss actually. So I just thought it was really fun. We needed that. So she did the background and then I did the couple. I could have made them a bit darker to match, but honestly, I didn't want to make it darker. I wanted you to be able to see the detail. So that is Mia and Nicholas. And then we have a kind of upright box. We have Fat Louie, the cat, super cute. We have the Genovia like pear trophy that one of the like singers I think is awarded at some event. I just thought like we needed something that has a pear in it. And then I actually drew these this tea set. I did sneak this on Instagram quite a while ago. I don't think any of you knew that it was for this set. I might use it in multiple sets as well, but like obviously there needed to be some kind of tea set involved in this art. So that is the only clip art that I actually drew. That's not people, like a clip art item. That's the only thing that I drew, but I just love that tea set. So I'm glad I got to feature it. And then we have a flat lay with the crown. Like the detail on the crown is so amazing. It's kind of like harder to see when it's printed in a kit as opposed to like the original file that she sent me, but she did so much detail on that crown. I just had to make it like really big. It's perfect. And then we have the bow and arrow from that scene where Nicholas is like teaching her how to shoot, which was so romantic. If I had room for another box, I would have done like that scene. And then we have darts, which I did kind of sprinkle around because I wanted a smaller element to sprinkle around. And there was like that one scene where I think it was Nicholas's uncle, like the bad guy who's trying to get him to take the throne. He's like trying to teach Nicholas a lesson about something, and he like is playing darts at the same time. So he like holds up a dart at one point and he's like playing darts. And so I was like, well, we're already on archery, so we might as well have darts in there too. So that's what that inspiration was. And then we have Lily, Mia's bestest friend, who comes and visits her. I think I did pretty good with Lily. Like, she was hard, but I'm pretty satisfied with how she turned out. I did color change her shirt. I did it in the original red that she wore, but I changed it to pink to match the rest of the kit. So it is not 100% movie accurate, but there it is. So yeah, that's her with the Genovia flag. Ellie did draw the flag, and I just kind of like superimposed it on there. Like I drew the outline, but like for the colors, that's Ellie. And then here we have Fat Louie, and then Maurice, I think, is Clarice's dog. So they're wearing their little crowns as well, which is so cute. So we have the pets. Yes, Fat Louie does get featured twice because cats are literally my favorite thing of all time. So he gets 2 features. And then here we have, I really wanted to include like all of the main characters. So we have this couple, and then we have Lily, and then we have the pets. That's like really all I needed. So I had to include Clarice and Joe, I think is the bodyguard's name. But yeah, Clarice and Joe are in here as well. I think this is on Mia's like coronation day, if I recall correctly. So we have them. It was kind of hard like doing this because the screenshot I had basically stopped right here. So I had to like imagine the rest of this. So hopefully it looks kind of natural. I don't even know. But I did have to invent a lot of that. So that's why they're kind of lower in the box. But you'll see why that is okay once I go over the foil. So this is page 1. I really love it. It's definitely a different style from I feel like a lot of other art. But I love it all the same. And then this page is a little bit similar to some other formats you've seen, but a little bit different. So we do have the deco on this side. There's some large, some small, but I did include like pretty much all of the clip art elements in here. And then we have our weekend banner which does have the pattern from the kits. We have 2 sidebar trackers with the glitter stroke, and then our other double box scene is of the mattress surfing scene, which I just had to include because Elisa would not stop bugging me about the scene, and so here it is. I didn't want to have her draw like every single kid because, like, oh my god, can you imagine? I can't. I just basically said I want 2 guards, which she did 4, so thank you, Ellie, for doubling the amount of guards for me. And then I wanted to have Clarice in the middle, mattress surfing, which honestly I don't know why I decided to have such a small element in the middle, because I knew that the cut line goes in the middle, and like, it's terrible planning. So for this kit, at least specifically, the cut lines are really close to the right, so you can get as much of Clarice as you like possibly can, so you can at least kind of know that it's supposed to be her. But in future formats, I think the cut lines will be a little bit further apart, like standard, but I had to like make it so you could see more of Clarice in there, otherwise she literally would not be in there at all. But yeah, I love this double box scene as well. I had her make this one a little more detailed too, so I could use it as backgrounds elsewhere in the kit. But yeah, so that is the double box scene. And then next page is the glitter headers. So here we go. I will admit, for the glitter, basically I had some clipart that I had purchased from Jess, from Kitten's Jess, a long time ago, and that glitter pattern is kind of like perfect. It's what I want, so I'm basically just recoloring that every single time. So you can thank Jess for the amazing glitter pattern. I don't even know if she got it from somewhere or what, but it works for me. So yeah, we have glitter, and then we have our habit trackers right here. They are like the old standard style of habit tracker, because that's just the one that I prefer. We have 2 little things here because that's just what fit in the space. We have 2 movie marquees. This is my personal movie marquee that I created from scratch, so that's just what it looks like. I think it's more like a glam planner size of movie marquee. It's definitely bigger than SPC. I may create 2 different sizes. I may create one that's a little bit smaller and have those as like multicolor, but yeah, that one's mine. And then we have some flags at the top. We have the 4 flags and the 4 colors of the kit that are larger, and then we have the 2 patterned ones. These are for me personally. I use these still in the top quarters of the spread, so I needed those. So it's kind of a little selfish thing, but there you go. I know some other people use them. And then I just had extra space over here, so I know that Andrea does the little shapes in her kit format, and I was just like, well, I can do circles, so I just did a couple patterned circles. So you can put those like behind foiled icons. I think they're more sized for little things, so if you want to do that, then that is available to you. So yeah, that's the glitter header page, and then we have our little things, which pretty much exactly follows the SBC format. We have our larger ones up here, smaller ones down here that are patterned, and then the plain like solid color ones down here. So that's a little sneak peek of the patterns that are in the kit. And then we have our solid label page, which again pretty much matches SBC, except these strips at the bottom are a little bit shorter. But yeah, I do have the bigger style little things that not little things, fancy labels that I personally prefer. So we just have 2 of those, or 2 rows of those. We have the quarter boxes, third boxes, and half boxes, and then just the plain strips. And then the pattern page, which is the same format, but here's the patterns. We have our crown pattern. This one is like an argyle. It's harder to see on camera, but there are like the little lines there. I do love an argyle. We have our flowers and then pears. And I did recolor a couple of these once I chose what kit colors I wanted. And then here we have page 7. Sorry, so this is the rounded box page. I just include only 3 square boxes because people don't really use that many square boxes, I feel like. And when I do, which I personally love them, I still only use about like 3. So there's 3. And then in this space, I put the little mini heart checklists because they fit perfectly. So there's your mini heart checklists. This space I actually changed, so I did do fancy labels in that because I always need more fancy labels. And then these are the rounded boxes, so I'm going to pull them up a little bit so you can kind of see the shape of the rounded ones. So here's the rounded quarter, and then we have the rounded third, and then the rounded half. So the radius of the corners are a little bit different on each one, but they kind of make sense given the size. So yeah, we have rounded boxes, and I did do the thing where it kind of alternates between patterned and solid color. So yeah, and the glitter stroke was on there as well. And then the washi page, hang on. The washi page is this. I basically did it as standard as you could, except I put the date covers on top instead of on the bottom, because it's just weird to me when they're at the bottom, but a lot of shops do them underneath the washi. So we have our extra full box, which is another flat lay. We have the Genovia flag. We have the fake leg that like she uses to ride side saddle, and then like that exposes her as using a fake leg, which I thought was like such an unfair part of the movie, but it was classic, so we had to have that in there. And then the fan, like, oh my god, the detail that she did on this fan is insane. I love it. And then the darts, just cause. Oh, I also forgot to mention that another clip art item I had her do was the flowers, because I just wanted to be able to sprinkle flowers in anywhere that like there was empty space that needed filling. So there are some like flower bits everywhere, and also especially in the deco I wanted them so you can like kind of cut these in half and use them just anywhere you need to, or cut them in quarters even. But yeah, I wanted the flowers, and I might recolor them for future sets as well. So I kind of like the fact that they are a very generic clip art item. But yeah, and then we have our date covers. So there's my specific paint swatch, and then my specific like date cover font. I forget which font it is. I think it's one of my new ones. I think it's font 7, if I remember correctly, from my new ones. And then we have the bottom washi. So we have our solid one. This isn't necessarily always going to be solid. It might be patterned at some points. It might be ombre at some points. But for this one, it is just that solid pink that I love so much. Same as her shirt. And then this one, I did the Argyle because I am Argyle obsessed. And I actually have Argyle underlays in my shop if you want to use those instead of the ones in the bundle, but options. So that is the ultimate kit. And then the mini is pretty much the same as SPC's mini, I believe. So these pages are the same. I think these are not the same. Okay. I think, if I remember, I mean, it's going to be on the website what it is. I forgot to check beforehand. But it's basically page 1 is the same, 2 and 3 are the same. And then the label ones are replaced with this mini sheet page, or mini kit page rather, which has just one row of fancy labels, quarter boxes and third boxes, and the what's it called, the little things, 3 patterned and 3 solid. Just now occurred to me that there's no half boxes in this mini kit format. That is so interesting. But yeah, I mean, that's really all that there is room for. And then, of course, the washi page. So those 5 pages are going to be what you get in the mini kit. So that is that. And then as for the foil, I did kind of the exact same thing as with the previous kit, where I designed the foil over the full boxes. And I did do Ballerina pink. So the 2 foil colors I recommend for this are Ballerina and gold, because there's like some gold elements. However, you got to be aware, if you choose one of those colors, that they are colors that are used in the kit. So if you want to put anything, like if you like do the line border overlays like I do, then you are going to run into the issue of having gold clash with this yellow from the kit, and then the light pink is going to clash with these pinks from the kit. So if you're okay with that, fine. But I'm going to do a mixed metal of both so that I can kind of be strategic about that. So that's my plan, but I just printed it out in Ballerina to show you guys. So yeah, I did kind of the same thing here, where each box lines up perfectly with each box. So here is the full confetti. I did kind of change it up for this box just so I wouldn't cover up any shoes. But here's the plain full one over Lily's box. So for our clipper elements, we have a little cat, pear outline, crown, teacup, and teapot. There's some little flowers in there. Another pear, the bow, and then there's the larger crown. So that is the confetti elements. So the top two corners are basically full confetti. The double box scene is the full confetti as well, but I did kind of edit it, of course, so it like wouldn't cover up that. And then let's see, over the flat lays, I try to put quotes. So here's a quote over this flat lay, and there's also little flowers and dots basically anywhere the background is. But this quote says, "The queen is never late, everyone else is simply early." I don't know whether that's from the first or the second one, but I needed a short quote to fit in that spot, and so there it is. These are, I think, fonts 3 and 9B, I think, from my shop. But yeah, and then there's, of course, the crown in there to denote the queen. So that kind of fits in there, so it doesn't cover up anything. It doesn't cover up, like, that symbol on the bow. So that's why it's arranged in that odd position. And then we have some pear garlands. So these are like the Christmas garlands, and I just put pears on them to go in the empty spaces in here. So that's why it's kind of okay that there's a blank spot up here. You can put any kind of deco you want, but I just like kind of filled it with pear garland. So that is that. And then Fat Louie also has some pear garland accompanying him. And then there's some more confetti dots around there as well. And then lastly for this page we have this box, which is the border box. It does have the little flowers in the border. And then the quote on that one is, "That will be your crowning glory," which is from the song that Clarice sings, and that song has been stuck in my head like so many times. Such a good song. But I just thought it would be funny to include that with this box because they're both wearing crowns. So that will be your crowning glory. Ha ha ha. So that's what that is about. Again, I'm being funny. But that is page 1. And then for the underlays, we have our sweater pattern that I've used in the beach and the Valentine's underlay so far. I just made it a little bit bigger. And we have crowns and pears in there instead. I just love this elegant kind of pattern, but of course you can use the argyle instead to match the argyle pattern in the kit. So those are the underlays. And then the next page we have our oh yeah, this is just the double box scene for the mattress surfing scene. It's just more pear garlands and some slight confetti. You can use deco if you want to spice it up a little bit, but I do love a good garland. So for our headers, we have the confetti headers, we have the crowns and pears, like matching the underlays kind of, and then we have the teapot and teacup with the flowers in there. And then here's the deco. And then for the washi, we have more crowns and pears. So if you use all the crown and pear elements, you're going to have a lot of matching foil elements, which I always love when things look like they're part of it, like a set. So that is that. And then we have the confetti washi as well in there. And then for the add-on sheet, oh crap, I didn't even go over the whole rest of the bundle. I'm stupid. Over the kit. So y'all just got spoiled to the fact that there is a tall box, which is the freebie. It is a tall box freebie. And then this is Mia on her wedding day. So she was the first one I drew. So her style is ever so slightly different from the others. The outlines are like one tick thicker. But I wasn't about to like go back and redraw it. So she does look slightly different. But yeah, here she is, her gorgeous wedding dress, which if you look really closely, I don't think it's hard to see on camera, but I did use a lace overlay, and you can definitely see in person that this lace part of her dress is actual lace, so very cool. And then the flower bouquet, that was really fun to use all my plant brushes on that one. And then I did use the flower clip art kind of up there, because if you look at the actual like scene from the movie, there's a lot of flowers behind her, like hanging from various places, so it makes sense. So yeah, I love this tall box as well. So that's the freebie. And then for add-ons, I have only 2 with this one. I may offer a 5th color sampler at some point, but the main 2 are going to be these. This is the heart checklist add-on sheet, which has 2 heart checklists and then 2 patterned full boxes. So if you like want just one of those, you do have to get this whole sheet, unfortunately. But I did do a poll to see what you guys needed, and there weren't really a lot of responses for like 4 pattern full boxes or 4 ombre hair checklists. It was mostly like 1 or 2. So there's 2 of each. on the same add-on, and then this other add-on is a combination of label sampler / headers. The cut lines have been changed because these lines were a little bit too close, so they aren't going to be cut like this, but the arrangement is going to be the same. So we have our 2 fancy labels and our third box, because those are the things that I typically need the most of, and that's what fits as well for these. And then the headers, these were the most commonly requested headers when I did a poll on that as well. Dinners, of course, that's the one that I use. Steps, Happy Mail, This Week, Work to Do, and Thankful. So again, if you just want the label sampler or just the headers, you will have to purchase this whole add-on sheet as well. But yeah, those are the 2 main add-ons that are going to be with every collection. So now with that, we can get into the add-on sheet for the foil bundle, which this top overlay goes over this flat lay right here. It's just another quote that I just had to include, which is, "Courage is not the absence of fear, rather the judgment that something else is more important," with the same font duo as before. And then more like confettis where the background is. This box is just kind of an alternate just because I had room for another full box overlay. So if you don't want to use any of the other overlays, you can just switch it out with this simple crown border one. And then this tall box overlay is a really fun design. I might do this as like a basics underlay, or not underlay, basics tall box overlay, because I haven't done anything like with this fun border, but obviously that goes over her, so it's nice and simple, doesn't take away from the elegance of the box of her wedding day. So, and then we have some swoops up here with the little pairs. We have our full sheet of corners, which again, you can use these as alternate like full box overlays, or do what I do and use these in the like the half boxes and third boxes and stuff. And then we have your full set of hole reinforcers. So that is the optional add-on sheet. And that is the Mia foil bundle, which again, I recommend Ballerina. Maybe even like pink, but I don't think so. I think Ballerina is going to be the best. It doesn't exact match any pinks from the kit, but it's going to be the best vibe, and gold. So yeah, the freebie is not always going to be a tall box. It might be like a couple of full boxes. It might be, who knows what it might be. It might be just some more labels, depending on the art that I have. But yeah, this is my very first custom art, and I'm very pleased about it. I have like 15 different ideas for custom art kits that I want to do. It's funny because that next one that I actually want to do was an idea that I came up with like a couple days ago that wasn't even on the list at all, but it just hit me that it's something that I haven't really seen, and I think it's going to be a huge hit. So we will see about that. But yeah, I hope you guys like this and are excited about it, and I hope you guys like my format. So can't wait to see what you guys think about that. Oh, and it will also be available as a printable as well. So yeah, that is everything for this week's new releases. They will go live on Friday at some time in the wee hours of the morning PST. And yeah, have a good weekend, guys. See you in my next video. Ciao, ciao.